Hey guys, so this is a response to megacapitalG's, not his video, but his comments on his video in the doobly-doo down below. So, what I'm basically getting, and he did a very good job actually, on explaining what that V-jump scan was, in his theories about what the ban list could look like. And in some parts I agree, and in a lot of parts I don't agree, but I'm not going to really talk about that. What I'm talking about is that the people in the comments seem to, I'm assuming are TCG players, because they're watching megacapitalG's channel. So I'm assuming that they are TCG, that they're not OCG, that they live in the States, or the UK, or Canada, or somewhere that's a TCG area, and they're complaining about injectors. Okay? So, injectors, in my opinion, and many others, are a good deck. They're tier, whatever you want to call them, 1, 1.5, but they're not the top deck. The top deck in the TCG is obviously Dino Rabbit, if not Chaos Dragons. Undisputable, just by sheer numbers and the amount of wins that the decks have. Now, the current idea that I've been getting off of the subscribers and viewers of megacapitalG is that Konami's basically going to do what they did to plants to injectors. This is probably not the case. We know from past formats that Konami doesn't just like smashing any random deck just because it tops. It has to ruin a format. In the OCG, if you go on Shriek TCG or talk to OCG players, injectors are huge. They're everywhere. They're really easy to come by. They're commons and rares and supers and all that good stuff. And they don't even have tour guide. Now, over there, they also have Heroes, Dark World, all the stuff that was on that page. Six Samurais are big over there. And Heretics, or Heretics, whatever you want to call them. Now, those are also big, and if you look on Shriek, you'll see that it's not always injectors winning. Far from the truth. And one of my favorite comments on megacapitalG's video was, injectors ruin creativity in the format. I couldn't agree with that even if I tried. This person has obviously not educated himself in the toppings of the last few Nationals and YCS, where Chaos Dragons have been nearly 50%. In one of the Nationals, the top 32, I believe, there was 24 Chaos Dragons, I think. Or even the top 8 at the last YCS only had one Injector deck. One of this apparently broken deck that cannot be beaten. So, I don't see what people are getting on about. I think, in my personal opinion, what they're going to do for the ban list is they're going to put Dragonfly to 1. They're not going, if they're not going to put Dragonfly to 1, they're going to put Hornet to 2. Because what's the point of destroying a deck? Of absolutely annihilating the deck? You're just going to make people not want to play anymore after they invested money into this. Plants were different, and same with Six Samurais. Six Samurais were a lot different because that was the only deck. People only played those decks. For a long time, you only played plants. You played plants or some plant engine. That was it. So of course they're going to smash it if their round exceeds. Now, there's so many side deck choices for injectors. It's unbelievable. The creativity, let's pull out a random deck that I have right beside me. Light Ray Lightsworn things. Okay, so I got this idea from Vexicus4666, and I have no problem beating injectors. This is a pretty creative deck. I have no problem beating them. Or how about Heroes? We don't have a dark hero yet, but yet I still end up beating injectors. I wonder why. I have Skill Drain. I have Gemini Spark. I can interrupt their plays. What else do I got back here? Wind-ups. Wind-ups. Okay, loop your hand. Or just Don't commit to the field. Don't allow them to do their wombo combos. Stop them. It really isn't as difficult as people say it is. And I think people are just complaining because their macro sworn lad turbo decks get beat by insectors. I really think people are just butthurt about that. And I'm sorry that I'm ranting on about this, but seriously, people, the deck isn't that good. It hasn't even won a YCS. Actually, it hasn't even gotten second at a YCS, I don't think. The highest it's got was Billy Break with a third, I believe. So I don't exactly know why you're complaining about this really easy-to-beat deck. If I was going to complain about a deck, I'd complain about Future Fusion. Just the card Future Fusion. Because you win when you play it. Yeah, it's 1 out of 40, but you win when you play it. Pretty much it. Or if I was going to really complain about a card, I'd complain about, I don't know, Dolka. TCG exclusive, but as soon as your opponent knows that you can't do anything without getting an effect off, they're just going to summon Dolka. That's all they're going to do. And the sad part is, it's no longer just used in Data Rabbit. It's in Evils, it's in Jurox, it's in Ninjas, it's in... Hell, I saw an Inzektor deck running 3 Goibas and a Velo just to use them. So, I personally don't agree with the responses to megacapitalG's video, but I do like how he explained it. And he didn't think they were going to get smashed. You know, he just said they're going to get hit. Okay? We all know they're going to get hit. This is not a question. But they're not going to get absolutely demolished as an archetype. There's no point in doing that for Konami's profit or for anything else. Because no matter what, you know, people are still gonna screw around. Like, let's say you take away Hornet. Okay, you put it to 1 or 2. The more likely is 2, but let's say they did put it to 1. Well, what do? Well, you add in an Armageddon Knight and maybe a third, either a Hopper or a Ladybug. It'll slow the deck down a little bit, but not much. You're still gonna... The real issue in Inzektors is Dragonfly. That's it. It's Dragonfly. The fact that he can activate his effect more than once per turn in terms of things being equipped and then destroyed or whatever, or sent to the graveyard, the fact that that can happen multiple times that's what busted about it. And I hope you guys actually think about this a little bit more before commenting, and actually, you know, think about what Konami does, and not just be butthurt about your macro sworn lad turbo decks being beaten by Inzektors. So, that's my input on it, and I hope you all enjoyed.